Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the River Room. I am Chris Colley, and I'm an independent statement up demonstrator in Rochester Hills, Michigan. Every Wednesday morning at 10 o'clock, I come to you and I share a little bit of creativity. And this Wednesday morning, I am going to share with you the make and takes that we did at our team meeting last night. You guys all know how much I love my team, and I'm always bragging on them, but our team meetings are super, super fun. And so this month, we do them every month on the second Tuesday, and you can come in person to the Rubber Room, or we stream them live on our Facebook page, so our team Facebook page. So if you can't come in person, you still get to experience it with us. And last night we shared some make and takes made with the framed florets and fitting florets dies. So this is a stamp set suite that includes the framed florets, the framed and festive stamp set, and then it has these coordinating dies with it. These are the framed florets dies, and oh my gosh, are they gorgeous? Look at this little die here. Not that one, but this one has little tiny hearts in it. So you actually cut the oval and the little hearts are cut out. They pop right out. So cool. And then there's some leaves, and these coordinate with the stamps in the stamp set. And then so do these. And they also coordinate with pieces of the designer series paper. So this stamp set, the framed and festive, is available only while supplies last, as are these gorgeous gold adhesive backed squirrels. I don't know if you guys can see that, but they have like little lines in them. They're super cute. Okay, so they have these little tiny lines in them that are just adorable. I'm getting a phone call, so yeah, a little distracted there for a minute. Okay, so they have those little lines. They're just absolutely adorable, and they're flat, so you can mail them easily, and they have adhesive on the back of them. So these are available, again, only while supplies last, as well as the designer series paper. So in our new mini catalog, you will be able to order the framed florets stamp set and the coordinating dies, but you won't be able to order the framed and festive, which these are all holiday sayings, so they're perfect for this holiday season. And of course, they fit right into the oval dies perfectly. So, and then here is the paper. The paper is so pretty. Let's see if I can get some out here. It has designs on one side, floral prints on one side, and then on the other side is Christmas. So it has holiday and regular florals that you can use. And some of the dies will cut these flowers out. So you just plop the die right on top of there and it cuts it out. Then you have this balmy blue, which is really pretty. And this one I think looks Christmassy to me. You can color these berries if you wanted to. I did one where I did the wink of Stella on them. And then you have this really pretty blushing bride on the other side of it. And then we have this one, which I think is really pretty. To me, this does not seem Christmassy, but I've seen a lot of Christmas cards made with it. So, and then you have this one, which is the blushing bride and the polished pink, which is really pretty together. And then this one, those little flowers are green. And I thought, oh gosh, that's kind of a green flower, but it's so pretty. I absolutely love it. And then you have this gingham. We're going to use some of that so you can see some options with it. I think that these little berries are supposed to be like holly berries, but I think it's really a great combination to put them with. And again, you can see how pretty those flowers are in the green. And then you have this soft succulent page, which makes a beautiful background, especially for a masculine card. But look how well it just layers up with those flowers. Isn't that pretty? such beautiful combinations. So I would, if you want this paper, I would suggest you order it sooner rather than later, because it is, again, while supplies last. So, and don't forget that it is 50% off Paper Pumpkin, past kits and refill kits today and tomorrow. Hi, Kay. Thanks for sharing. I hope you guys are having some nice weather in Carolina. I know some places are getting kind of stormy, nasty weather, so I hope that place is not you. Okay, so let's jump in, and the link for the Paper Pumpkin is on my website. So if you need that, I will actually post it again on this Facebook page. Okay, so let's get my little card kit out. Everybody that came to the meeting got a little card kit, and they're all stacked up. So let's find this one. Okay, oh, here it is, right on top. I have a downline who came and did all of the die cutting for us. So that was absolutely amazing, and it made last night go by very, very quickly. So these are the pieces that you're going to need. This is an extra thick basic white, and it's 8.5 by 5.5. Scored on the 8.5-inch side at 4 1/4. And I'm just going to use my bone folder to burnish those edges of it. I'm going to grab my adhesive, some dimensionals, and I think that might be it. So I'm going to take, this is our designer series paper, and this came from that wonderful pack that I just showed you with the polished pink and the blushing bride. And I'm just going to, and you can, again, our paper is so gorgeous, you can use either side of it. So you can use that side. It would be just as pretty with that side. So I'm going to just use my Stampin' Seal to put a little adhesive around the edges here. If you guys want these card packets, a packet comes with everything you see me take out. Does not include any stamped images, but does include all of the die cuts, designer series paper, embellishments, that sort of thing. So I'm going to take this oval, and remember those dies I showed you? It cuts out these two pieces. And then it also cut out this piece, which I think is so pretty. Okay, so we're going to get the words, and we are going to, my upline used this same step set for her make and takes, and she used the Christmas words, so I decided I would use the Friends words. So this one, got a little goopy on there, says for a special person on a special day. And I'm just going to bring in my little die cut oval. This is polished pink cardstock, my Memento ink pad. Just going to ink up my words, and I'm going to put them towards the top a little bit because I want my little flower die cut to go at the bottom. Okay. Easy peasy, right? We do lots of talking and having fun at our meetings, lots of snacks and all kinds of good stuff. So we like the make and takes to be easy, so that people can, I'm going to put it up and towards my left a little bit. And then I'm going to put my frame on there. And I actually am going to, I think, use some glue dots on my frame because it's kind of thin here. So I think I'm just going to put some glue dots around my edges. Whoops, that's the... So if you do want a kit, I will mail it to you for free to anybody who places a minimum $35 order on my website at rubberroom.stampinup.net before midnight on Friday. And this I'm just going to stick down. It will line up. Whoops, whoops, whoops. It's falling all over the place. I'm going to line it up with my oval. Here we go. And then just press it down. And then I'm going to bring in my flowers, and I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back of those. So when you place a $35 order minimum, I will send you these card kits for free. And again, you will have to provide your own stamped images or your own stamps, but you'll get the die cut pieces. So just gonna pop that right on there. I want to go over that way just a little bit. And then we have some of the red and green adhesive backed pearls. And I'm going to use some of these little silver guys. And I actually chose to put them on where the little balls are. They look like little blooms almost, little blossoms or berries. But you can put them anywhere. It's your own card. So feel free to deviate from what I did and put your own little signature on it. Okay, how pretty is that? You could also, instead of adding flowers, you could add flowers and add a little bow here, some twine around it. There's lots of different ways that you can kind of spruce it up a little bit, but that's our framed Florets card. And our next one, we took the same pieces. Let's see where it is over here. It's going to be this white one. Okay. So we took this same oval die cut and we just reversed it from this image. So when you cut it, you're going to cut a piece of white paper and it cuts out this part and this part. So what we did was we cut a piece of white paper and we cut a piece of polished pink paper. So we used our white and our pink, and now we're going to use our pink and our white. So we're just going to flip-flop those. I always tend to, I'm going to save that for another project and then don't really use it on another project. So I decided I would design 2 cards and use it and be sure you knew how to use it also. So again, a piece of extra thick basic white at 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4 on the long side. And this card is actually going to be a hamburger, not a hot dog. I don't know if you guys use that term, but I love that term. So we're going to start off with our polished pink piece of cardstock. And this one is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. I wanted just a little bit of trim around my edge, just kind of a little bit of white poking out there. Okay. And then our designer series piece of paper is 4 by 5 1/4. I'm just going to put that right on top of there in the center. And you're going to get, again, just that little tiny bit of pink popping through there, which I really like. I think that just kind of adds a little pizzazz to it. So we're going to take our words, and this time we're going to use "Thank You with All My Heart" and our polished pink. And just a little reminder for you guys that our new ink pads open like a compact down here. So you're just going to put your thumb where that little indentation is, pop it up, flip it over, and slide it down. And if that is difficult for you to do, some of them when you purchase them, they're kind of tight. So if you just put your thumbs where those little dots are, it will pop it right up like that. And again, just lift it and push it, okay? So I'm just gonna ink that up. And again, we're going the long way, so I'm gonna do that. And there we go. And I'm going to put my frame up on glue dots. I think I'll put this part down first. And you can see when I do this that it doesn't really matter if you start with the outside going down first or the inside going down first. Just whatever you are comfortable with is where you want to start it. I believe in no stress stamping. Stamping is supposed to be something where we relax. We can talk while we're doing it. We can share stories. It's just something that we can get it out. We don't have to be a mom or a grandma or a wife, or we can just go and be with our friends and have a good time. And that to me is no stress, and it means we can do it however we want. That's the easiest for us. And I'm just going to add some Stampin' Seal to the back of my words. I'm going to put those on there. Okay, did I get that on there? Oh. All right, and then we have a little bow. And again, one of those things, people don't like to tie bows. They have a phobia about it, so I tie the bows. And you're just going to add them to your card. I'm going to put mine right down here. I think I'm going to move it right up onto that frame a little bit more. If I can do it without... There we go. And for this one, I use those same red, green, and adhesive back pearls. I'm going to use the gold ones on this card. And I'm just going to put one there, and one down here. Okay, super easy, you guys, but how adorable is that? And I love that little iridescent ribbon on there. I think that is so, so pretty. Okay, let's take a peek and see if anybody has questions. Hi, Carol. Thanks for tuning in and thanks for sharing. I'm so glad you guys share. I love to share myself personally because I think that that's how we get to see many, many different things is when we're sharing each other and supporting each other. So I really appreciate that share. Okay, so this is I love this one. This is like one of my favorites. I think that navy is just so striking and it like really pops it. So we have, this die is from our Color and Contour stamp set. And I'm just gonna pop these out real quick. Jackie really had her work cut out for her, as you can see with all these die cuts for everybody that was at the meeting. And she did a great job. I appreciate it. I love a helper whenever I can get one. And, and I'm very blessed that I have a team of people who love to help. So it works out perfectly. So I am going to, this navy card base was cut at 4 1/4 by 11, and then we scored it at 5 1/2 and burnished it there. And this is just a piece of regular basic white. If you do this, you don't get that little sticky thing. I don't know why I'm getting that hangy thing on there. So we're just going to put this down like that. And then I'm going to put the Designer Series paper on top of it. And it is cut just so it will line up with the scalloped edges of the Color Contour die. So get a little bit of a white edge around it. There we go. And then Jackie cut a little piece of vellum for everybody for our words. So I'm going to stamp my sentiment on there. And for this one, we're going to use the words that say, so lucky to call you my friend, to call you friend. And the vellum was cut with these stitched rectangle dies. And I'm going to go a little bit to my right because we do have some hardware that we're going to put on the left. So I'm going to set that aside for a minute, and we're going to put a little bow on this one that is, I'm going to use some twine for it, and I'm just going to take my bone folder, and I'm going to put my twine on the top of my bone folder, and then put my thumb on top of that, and just kind of slowly pull my twine through there, and that's going to help to straighten it out. So you can see it's not nearly as curly as it was. And then I'm going to come in with my Night of Navy blend. And I'm going to use my brush tip, but I'm going to use it flat. Okay, so I'm just going to hold my twine down, put my brush end, and this is what I mean by flat. It's going to go just like this. And I'm just going to kind of pull my twine through it. Now, you don't have to do this. You can leave your twine that beautiful natural color if you'd like. It's kind of a crumb cake, I think. But I want mine to be just a navy. I think it's going to give it kind of a really elegant look. So I'm just going to color it. And I'm not worried about getting every single spot on it colored. See, my brush tip is still a brush tip with a little point to it when I do that. And where are my paper snips? There they are. Just going to cut that there. Okay. And then I'm going to use these sprig trinkets. Aren't they gorgeous? They're kind of a heavier little piece of metal, and it's just a little sprig with lots of details to it. So I'm going to use one of those, and you get 20 of them in this container. So that is a great deal. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to bring my words in, and I can see they're kind of a little bit shiny. So I'm going to take my heat tool, and I'm going to heat set it really very quickly. So I'm going to hold this end down here with my little take your pick tool, and then I'm just going to bring in my heat tool. And we're just going to slowly make sure that that ink is set up. Sometimes it takes a few minutes to dry when you're stamping on the vellum. So if you're in a hurry, you can just use your heat tool and heat set it very quickly. And I'm going to use a mini glue dot and just put it right there on the edge. And that's what's going to hold it to the front of my card. I'm going to bring it in like that. And then I'm going to take my little sprig. And I think I'm just going to tie my bow. And I'm a bunny ears gal, so I have 2 loops. And I bring the other one over and through the middle one. And then just kind of pull it to a size that is kind of comparable to what we want on our card. And I think that's good, but we'll put this one on and then see if we need to make some changes. So I'm just going to my sprig. I'm going to put some glue dots on the back of it. And I actually think I'll do 3. I want to do that one there. Okay, and I'm just going to put those over the glue dot that's holding my words down. And then you don't have to be able to see it back there. And I think I'm going to make this just a tad smaller. And I'm going to put a glue dot right in the middle there. And put that on the front of my card like that. And then I'm just going to come in and trim these up. So you can see, you guys, these cards are so easy. We had 12 people here last night, 13 people here last night. And all of them got through all of their make and takes. So they are super easy, but they have a little bit of a wow to them. I kind of like. And this one, I didn't put any pearls on that one, but I think I might try some of these on the middle of my flowers. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, I think that's really pretty on the middle of those blue flowers. And I see one more up there. Oh yeah, I think that's very pretty. I like that. Okay, so that is our 3rd card. I'm just going to take a minute to peek if anybody else popped on here with some questions. Hi, Susie. Oh, that's a problem with all demonstrators, Susie, is we always have to go back and add more and add more. This paper, though, you will not be sorry. It is absolutely gorgeous. Oh, I'm glad you think it's gorgeous, Kay. I do too. It's really, Stampin' Up! Paper does a lot of the work for you. So you can see these are just quick and easy cards, and they have that really wow factor to them. So this one is the same card, but you can really change the look of it. Super easy. So that's what we were kind of going for. So this is the same card with the same piece of paper. And what we did was, if you liked the red, we took the green and made it red. Okay, so I'm going to show you real quick how to do that. And we started with a piece of crumb cake that was 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2, and then we just burnished that. I have a piece of crumb cake that is 5 1/4 by 4, and we ran it through the gingham embossing folder. And I'm just going to put some Stampin' Seal on it. And this is just going to give it just a little layer of texture in the background. So you can see just a little bit of that little gingham pattern back there. Okay, and then we have this. This is the Stylish Shapes dies. Absolutely love them. That again is like a must-have. It is circles and squares and banners, and they all have that little stitched edge that is so adorable. So because I'm doing this one red, I'm going to stamp my words in red. And my words say, wishes for a beautiful birthday. And you could easily adapt these cards for Christmas just by using the other stamp set that has the Christmas wishes in it. Okay, so wishes for a beautiful birthday. And I'm going to set that aside. And while I have, I'm going to sneeze, while I have my red ink pad out here and open, this is what we're going to do. We have this piece of green, it's Evening Evergreen gingham, right? And it has those beautiful flowers on the back of it. But I'm going to bring in my blending brush, and I am just going to make some magic here, right? So I'm just tapping my blending brush onto my ink pad. I'm going to start off my paper and just blend it around. And you can do this, you can make it as light. You can see how light it is down here as opposed to dark up there. I kind of like the dark better, so I am going to go for a little bit of a darker look. And you're just going to keep re-inking it. And I find I'm left-handed, so it's easier for me to go in from my left. So I'm just going to turn my paper rather than move my ink pad and all of that good stuff. I'm just going to keep turning my paper so I can keep coming in from my left where it is comfortable for me to do that. And again, the more you stamp, the more you're going to find a groove where you feel comfortable and you're getting a coverage that you like. I'm not going to worry about going into the middle because I do have some words that are going to cover up that middle section a little bit. Okay. I think that is such a cool little trick. Like, we have the best Designer Series paper, and now we've made it even better because we can change the color on it, right? I think that is yummy, yummy. Okay. So let's get this basket out of the way. And I'm going to take that out of the way. Okay, so we took that green paper and just added a little bit of ink to it to change the whole look on it. Okay. And I hope that was easy enough for you guys to follow. If you don't have those blending brushes, oh my goodness, they are, that is a tool that I use all the time. Absolutely love them. Okay, so if you remember right, I said Jackie came over and cut out all of my die cuts for me. So this is the die cut for the flowers. And I'm going to bring in my Stamp-A-Majig. And I've already set it up so that I know it's going to stamp right there. So I put my stamp exactly there, and I can get it to stamp right where I want it. So I'm just going to add my image in there. You know what? I'm going to show you guys how to do that. Okay? So I'm just going to back up a little bit. We'll turn this paper over. Oh, it's already got words on it. So we're going to turn it over and pretend it doesn't have words there, okay? We're just going to ignore those words. So I'm going to just place my stamp on my plastic piece on the left. I'm going to ink it up. I'm going to leave that piece right there. And then I am going to stamp it. And I'm just going to drag my finger across to make sure it's on there really good. Oh gosh, I didn't get it in that spot at all. The beauty of the Stamp-A-Majig, right? Okay, so then what this is a piece of scrap paper that I cut my die out from. Okay, so I'm just going to take that and I'm going to line it up with my stamped image. Okay, now this works with any die. So you can do that with anything. If it's easier for you to stamp and do this than it is to stamp your image and then try and line it up with a die cut, a lot of people do that. So again, find your groove and what makes it easiest and most relaxing for you. Okay, so I am just gonna ink that up and stamp it on my image. Just gonna give it the palm of my hand to make sure it's good and inked. Okay, and then I'm just gonna plop it out of there. And I sometimes will use my take your pick tool. It gets buried easily, but I'm just gonna put it right underneath the edge there and pop that up. Okay, so you can see I'm right in the middle of my die there. Isn't that and I think that is the coolest little trick to be able to cut those dies and then go back in. And I'm just going to give this a quick color. I think I'll do these with my crumb cake. There's like 2 or 3 different shapes of leaves in here. Usually when I'm coloring with my blends, I like to use that kind of nib end. I don't know why. I just think it's easier for me to stay in the lines with that one. I'm going to use my red. Put that blue back in there because that goes in the other box. I'm going to use my red and this is real red. I think that plaid, when you color it with that red, gives it kind of a Christmas kind of plaid look to it. And I'm not going to worry about the centers on these because we are going to be using some of those little adhesive backed gems on the back of them. So we're going to put with the adhesive on the back, and we're just going to put those right in the center of our flowers. Okay, and while I'm coloring here, I'm going to remind you one more time about the paper pumpkin with the kits. We don't normally sell past kits, but for the sale, you can get past kits and refill kits. And that's a great deal, especially if you're going to be buying kits to do your Christmas cards. And we do have some really adorable Christmas card kits too. So, okay, so this is my Evening Evergreen, and this is the light one. And again, using the nib tip. There are 3 different kinds of leaves with these flowers. So I think I'm going to do each kind just a different shade of green and crumb cake. You can do them all the same if you want. It doesn't really matter too much. And remember, you're not going to have any green on this card. I can see where I missed one of these little crumb cake ones, so I'm going to go back in and do that. There we go. And then I'm going to take my dark evening evergreen and do these last ones. So these are just going to be just a tad darker than the evening evergreen light. And I like to leave just a little bit of white, which will create a kind of negative space that will draw your eye to it when I'm coloring. So I don't really like to go all the way up to the lines, so to speak, on them. If that makes sense to you. And apparently I missed one with my light evergreen. There we go. Okay, so even though we did some coloring on this card, we had to use our Stamp-A-Magic, still a quick and easy card to do. So I'm going to come in with my basic white, and I'm just going to adhere that to the middle of my card. Let's see if I got that straight. I think I did. And then I'm going to bring in my designer series paper. And that's going to go right in the middle of that basic white. And you can see how that really, the white just kind of really pops it out. And next I'm going to put my words on there. And again, I'm keeping all of these flat, just using my Stamp and Seal. And that, see how that covers that right up in the middle? So you don't really need to worry about using your blender brush in there. Okay, so now we have some leaves and some sprigs that were die cut for us. And these also are part of the dies from that stamp set. And you have 2 leaf dies so that you can see they're going to go in opposite directions, which I think is really important with leaves. You see what I mean? They're both going to go in opposite directions, and I really like that too. So I'm going to take my flowers, and I'm going to put some Stamp and Seal across the back of it. And I'm going to put these little florets, or this little sprig in here. And there's a little tail sticking up right there. So I'm going to go back in with my snips and get that. And then I'm going to come over and I'm going to do my leaves. I'm going to have one kind of just a tad going up, and then the other one coming down. Okay, so that's going to be that part. And then I am going to come in with my dimensionals and add those to the back of it. Oops. My fingers are getting stuck on there. Okay. And again, you can put a bow on here with some twine or with some fancy ribbon. If I were doing these for Christmas cards, I would add a little bit of ribbon. Oh, it doesn't look like my words are sticking very well. So I'm going to add a little bit more Stamp and Seal to that because I don't want my words falling off. There we go. And, oops, up too high. I don't want to cover my birthday. There we go. I actually, there. Okay, and then we're going to add some of these little, they say green, but I don't think they're very green. But they really make the inside of these flowers pop. Now on the one where I left it green on the outside, I used the red on the inside. Let's see. I'll take that out of the bag so you can see. So this one where I left the flowers green, or where I left the gingham green, I did the, no I didn't. I did the red in here. So I did the red on the red. So now you'll be able to see. I used green words and then the red on the red here. And for this one, I used red words and did the green on the red. So just kind of mixed it up a little bit. So really easy, you guys, right? 4 really pretty, really easy cards. All using that designer series paper. The designer series paper really does the work for you. So thanks for tuning in, you guys, and I will be back next Wednesday at 10 o'clock. I'm going to on stage in Indianapolis this weekend, so I will get to see the new catalog and some new products and do a product purchase premiere order. I'm pretty excited about it. Always when I travel with Stampin' Up, it's an amazing time. And this time our team's going with us, so that will be kind of fun. I think there are 5 of us on our team that are going to be sharing a room together. So thanks for tuning in, you guys. Have a great rest of the week, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Bye-bye.